What's up, guys? This is Brian J's Nerd Talk, and this is my spoiler review for Lord of the Rings: The Rings of Power, Episode 4, which just premiered today on Amazon Prime. I just watched it, and I gotta tell you, still, the dialogue and the writing is really, really terrible. I really hate Galadriel. I hate the way she's being portrayed. I do not like the way she's written. The actress might be a good actress, but her performance in the show is really terrible because of how badly written her character actually is. She comes across as just a one-dimensional, angry, badass feminist, which I guess is how the left views women, but it's really one-dimensional. It's very terrible. It really sucks, and it's very disappointing overall. And her husband is not on the show because I guess to the left, a woman being married to a man is like the worst thing ever. Like if she was married to a woman in the book, they would definitely put her wife in this show. And this is coming from somebody who is an ally to the LGBTQ plus community. But this is so obviously SJW and leftist that it's like really distracting from the actual story. So her husband is not in the show. Muriel, who's Queen Regent, also has a husband, I think, in the books, or is married to somebody or whatever. In fact, there is no Queen Regent in Silmarillion in the books in Numenor. It's a king. The king, it's a man that's in charge, not a queen. And Muriel and Galadriel never meet at all in the Silmarillion. They never meet at all in the Second Age. So this is a totally new story, and they're just making shit up, and it's not faithful to the Silmarillion at all. This is a terrible, terrible adaptation of the Second Age stories that were written by J.R. Tolkien. This was a big mistake by Amazon, and it's really bad. There are no Harfoots, and I'm kind of happy about that because the Harfoots were completely ruined in episode 3 when they're like, we leave people behind if you're injured, which is the opposite of what they were saying in the first episode. So the Harfoots, the hobbits, are completely ruined in this show. And the elves, and the Queen Regent Muriel has a white father, which is so funny. I guess her mother's black, but it's just like, it's just so far leftist with this whole show. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. And yeah, I give this. I actually liked episode 3. I thought episode 3 was a good episode. Like visually, it was great, especially the sweeping shots of Numenor. It was beautiful. But episode 4 is just really, really terrible because of the writing, the performances, the dialogue. It's just so bad. Now, the dwarves are great. The actors playing the dwarves are great, and their dialogue is good. And I'm glad that the dwarves are being shown being pretty badass. But all the scenes outside involving dwarves and Elrond, all the other scenes were mostly terrible. And Arandir, the elf, gets freed by the main bad guy because he wants him to send a message, which I guess sort of makes sense, but it's just, and he gets back together with his girlfriend. They're not making out or kissing, and there's no chemistry between them. So you would never assume there's a romance. You would just assume that they just are close friends who are flirting. You would never assume that they're actually in love. But episode 4 was terrible. I give it a 4 out of 10. This is the worst episode so far. I give episode 1 a 6 out of 10. I give episode 2 a 7 out of 10, episode 3 a 7 out of 10, and I give episode 4 a 4 out of 10. This is a bad adaptation of the Second Age, and these are my thoughts on episode 4. This is all spoilers, and yeah, this is just a really bad episode. I'm gonna watch episode 5, but this season I don't know if it's getting better. I think it's getting worse now. And this is Brian J's Nerd Talk, and I'll talk to y'all later.